Hi, my name is Levi Roush.
My name is Danny Medvedovsky.
Hi, my name is Lucy Rowe.
My name is Lydia Charon.
My focus is in musical theater.
My focus in the arts is dance.
And I'm more in the musical theater realm of the arts, but more of the behind-the-scenes side, like composition, musical theater writing, stuff like that.
My focus in the arts is theater and music.
Well, I have not participated in a live production in over a year. There have been virtual production opportunities, but it just hasn't really been my cup of tea.
So much of dance is about connecting with other people and expressing yourself through your facial expressions, and all of that is kind of a lot harder.
Well, when I'm composing, it was very easy to say hey, can you try and sing the song for me? Or can you just try this out for me? With COVID, that wasn't accessible to me. Composing with only myself, because it's not really realistic. I want to know how songs sound sung by other people who would actually sing them. Or if I have ensemble pieces, I would need an ensemble to sing my song.
That because of COVID, it took away the in-person element, which is really hard because that's never really been something that we've had to worry about. It's really just been something oh, it's always in person. We never thought we'd have to really shift completely to a different platform.
So for me, something I've really just missed is collaboration with other artists and directors. And I would say for me it has been hard not having that outlet, and also just continuing to make new connections through that.
Finding motivation to take dance classes and keep up with my training over Zoom, especially when it first hit, because I went from training 20 plus hours a week in the studio to having to do everything online and through Zoom, and we had to figure everything out in a really new way, and classes were structured so differently.
It was more mental than anything else, because usually Broadway is Broadway. You go to Broadway and it's there, it's a working system, and it's a tangible thing that you can work with. But I think the biggest obstacle was having the mentality that even with the restrictions that we have, it is still possible to do those things. It just takes a little more time, and there's some holes that you have to jump through, but it's all worth it in the end.
I think the biggest struggle for me has been keeping engaged with everything and keeping up with between auditions and voice lessons, and trying to not fall off the grid with literally everything that is theater, because I feel it's just harder for me personally to access now. It feels so detached, and I think that's been the hardest part for me, is really trying to stay involved.
So since I had to take a couple performance classes on Zoom and create small performances, I have learned how to perform and utilize that virtual space. Now I think as things change, we also need to change with them. So I haven't necessarily taken a specialized on-camera acting class, but I have gotten some minor experience just learning how to navigate that and how to do things in such a way that are still captivating.
With creativity and collaboration and just being innovative, you can really make anything work, and anything is possible. But it's really just teaching us how to kind of use our art in new ways, and how to use technology to benefit our work and our pieces in different ways than what we could do before. No never really has to be an answer, because they'll always find a way to make it work.
How versatile I can be and how flexible I can be in terms of scheduling, in terms of my self-discipline, because sometimes I get really hard on myself, and I'm I should do this and I should do this now, but realizing that circumstances are circumstances and context is context, and accepting that fact and working with that fact has helped me.
There's even more mediums to put theater and music on than just the stage or live performance. I mean, obviously music is something that is often recorded, but I think there's a lot of really interesting things you can do with the digital platform, and I think there are really good ways to use it to like make some really effective pieces.
So I definitely speculate that auditions won't be in person so much anymore, and they will just start to be, pre-recorded and sent in, just because I think that is easier. But I definitely am one who likes to be in person, so I hope that that's not the case.
I think COVID will kind of expand our definition of what it means to dance and what it means to perform and be on stage, because I think a lot of the time when we think of performance, at least pre-COVID, we always thought of like an audience sitting in an auditorium with dancers on stage and that was it. But I know that now we've had so many other like creative ways that performances have taken place, like outside or online and through like cool video editing that weren't really as like popular or prominent before COVID, I would say.
So I think that what COVID has done to Broadway specifically is that I think that it's kind of demanded an overhaul of the whole system. But I also think that it's given people the chance to seek different opportunities, maybe Broadway affiliated or maybe not, but there's a wider world out there that I think that everyone has kind of been pushed to access now because of COVID.
The types of pieces and works that are going to be coming out, I think are going to be more so using different mediums, or at least trying to use effectively the virtual medium. I think there's a lot of creative leeway with that. I'd also think it's going to make it easier in the sense of once we get out of this kind of thing and back into routine, there's still going to be the option to fall back if need be, just for sake of convenience, and even if it just comes to like people's attendance, like being able to in some way have people like present is like so important, and I think this has really shown that there's a lot of ways to do that isn't just be here at the same time, literally live.